part of what happens when I'm getting gang stalked in my gang stalking campaign is when I go home. Most of the day I stay out because when I go home I get harassed, and they're doing work on the house right now. So if I stay in the guest room in the upstairs level, they will bang on the floor and drop stuff on the floor to harass me, make noise, and piss me off. And the guest room is next to the kitchen, so then they'll close cabinets and doors and pots and pans. They'll slam them and make a lot of noise and call me names from upstairs and the side room. To piss me off. It's a lot of fucked up shit that they do basically to me. It's basically like torture and harassment, and then they'll like laugh about it too. They'll do certain like small things like to show me that they know that they know like what I was about to do. Cause like let's say I'll be like eating food and I have like greasy hands. I'd go upstairs to use, since the house is being built and renovated. They're not done finishing the house, so I'd go upstairs to use the bathroom, and the sink water would already be on. And after I'm done eating and I'm about to go wash my hands, and that kind of shows you like that they're really closely watching me and everything that I do. They love to bang on floors. Basically, there's a guest room that I should be sleeping in, but I have to sleep in the floor or in my car. Because if I sleep in the guest room, they'll basically just bang, and they leave me alone a little bit when I go downstairs. But even when I do go downstairs, they still just, every once in a while they'll bang the floor, super hard. And, how many times are you going to hear like a random loud bang in like multiple times throughout the day, and then really really late at like nighttime? Like there's no reason why someone should just be banging on the floor at nighttime. They're really pieces of shit, and they should die for it, because it's like there's a whole baby in the house sleeping and you're banging on the floor just to get at one person. But really it's like, I don't know, I think it's very silly what they do. They just have a whole bunch of different type of torture methods that they like to use on me. I could go as far as to saying the house was just recently built. I guess they came into like a lot of money or something like that for like basically selling me to the state. So the house was recently built, and they basically like, I would take it as far as to say honestly that they built the house in a way so that you could hear stuff from the walls. Like they like to say it's like schizophrenia, but it's not really schizophrenia, because they're telling me that this house you could hear stuff more than the old house. But then if this house was built in 2022 and the old house was built in like 1970 or 1980 something, wouldn't it have better sound installation and a better structure? Technology advanced, house development advances. Wouldn't it be better at soundproofing the walls and all that other stuff than a older house? That doesn't really make sense. Older houses are known for creaking and making noises. How is a newer house going to be more? You're going to hear more noise in a newer house than an older house. I honestly do believe that I don't care how crazy this sounds, I honestly do believe they made the house in such a way to where they could harass me and noise will travel through no matter where I'm at, or so they could call me a name or stop on the floor and it'll travel through louder and quicker to get to me than it would be in a normal house. So because the old house, they also would stomp on the floor too, but when they went upstairs they wouldn't stomp on the floor, because honestly, so that's what would lead me to believe that the new house, like, they could be upstairs and they still stomp on the floor and I'll still hear it. They don't even have to be in the middle level. The old house, they'll be in the middle level and they could stomp on the floor and I'd hear it, but once they go upstairs, no noise. But the new house, they go upstairs, like, it's almost like the walls are paper thin in this new house, and that's kind of odd. Like, wouldn't you want soundproofing so you don't hear what other people are doing? But obviously that's not the case. The house is built for my demise. The neighborhood is built for my demise. In the neighborhood, they like to play little mind games. Like, I'm interested in cars, so then I could look up a car on the internet, and that car, the same day or the next day, will either appear at work or at home or at the neighborhood. Either or, at work or at the neighborhood, or pull up to me in a random parking lot and park close to me so they know that I see them. Any car really. Like, I'm into performance cars, normal cars, quirky cars, weird cars and stuff. Whatever car it is, they will find a way to get that car. And if the car is too expensive, they'll get a lower trim version or another car from the same brand to use to harass me. So if they can't get a V8 Mustang, they'll get a 4-cylinder Mustang, to harass me. It doesn't have to be the same exact car. As long as it's similar enough, they would get the car so that they know that they're watching you and what you do on the phone, and they harass you. Like, it's too many times. Like, how many times do you look up a car on the internet and then the car appears in your neighborhood? And another thing with that too is the car will appear in the neighborhood, but then the next day it'll be gone. It's like, or it'll be there for like a day or two, and then the next day it would be gone, and you'll never see the car again. And you could be like, oh, but it's just someone that lives outside the neighborhood. I mean, like, yeah, that makes sense, but how many times do you look up a car and then the next day that car is in your neighborhood? Like, that's a little odd. That doesn't really make sense. Like, you'll look up, one time I looked up a Maserati, and then the next day they had not the exact same Levante, but a similar Levante, a lower trim one, in the neighborhood. I was recently looking up a Shelby GT500, which is a $100,000 muscle car. Guess what was there the next day in the neighborhood? They could even get crazy cars like that. I was looking up a Cadillac CTSV, same car was there. I was thinking about a BMW E92 M3. They couldn't get the M3 because those things are kind of rare, so they went for the lower trim and they got a 335i BMW, but it's still the same E92 platform for the BMW. So if they can't get the higher trim one, the top dog, the performance guy, they'll get something lower trim to show you that yeah, we couldn't get that, but that's still similar enough, so that they know that they're watching you. They do that honestly all the time, and that's just like barely even scraping like the top of like the stuff that they do to harass me. It's not really schizophrenia when people are giving you like dirty looks and they're like looking at you crazy, and they looking at you like they want to kill you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not really that. Personally, I think like karma should come back to them, but it doesn't work like that. It does not. Sometimes you gotta do stuff yourself and stuff like that, and take actions into your own hands, because you keep on letting them do it and you always turn the other cheek and do the right thing, they'll just get away. They're telling you not to fight. They're telling you not to fight back, but they're attacking you. Why would you listen to them? These people, like, they'll get people to follow me, like I said in another video, to random parking lots just so they could watch me and listen to me and just talk to me. Not like talk to me like conversation, but just occasionally say some rude comment and scream it from their car, and just do that, like, literally. They also like to another thing is that when I first moved into the new house with them, it was quiet for like a month or two. So that's why I'm like, how is it going to be quiet for a month, but then now every single day there has to be some loud noise multiple times throughout a day, and every time when someone is in the middle level, they have to drop noise or stomp on the floor. And it's not even the baby though, because you could tell the difference between a baby messing about and a grown person messing about. Sometimes you will go up there and there's not even a baby there. It's a whole, like, it's my dad or my mom or one of my siblings. So that's why I'm like, it's not like what they try to say it is, because they try to blame it on the baby, but it's like, it's clearly not a child. Because if it was a child, you could tell the difference. Childs, yes, they make noise, but like, it's not. You could tell the difference between when someone's deliberately trying to piss you off, and then when it's just a baby. A baby will inconsistently make noise, but they will make noise like back to back every time. Like, I think something and they will respond to that. I look something up on the phone and then right after they'll respond to that. The baby won't do it like that. Maybe every once in a while there'll be a coincidence where it syncs up with what you're doing, that a baby would be not harassing you, but drop something on the floor or be loud. But babies aren't. It wouldn't be so perfectly timed if it was a child. That's what I'm getting at. But yeah, it's just crazy harassment. They don't care if I'm homeless. They low key, not they low key. They very obviously want me to die. Um, but their plan, it isn't gonna go so perfect as they think it is. They could try their hardest, but at the end of the day, it's not gonna go so perfect. And even if all else fails, bro, one day what they did will be dragged into the light, and they'll be seen for the evil pieces of shit that they really were. Like, basically just having random people around town harass me, at my job, and really anywhere I go, just harass me and sabotaging me and doing a whole bunch of like fucked up things to try to like mentally fuck me over until I commit suicide. But first they want to profit off of me, because basically when you're getting gang stalked, you're a walking economy, and people could torture you and harass you, and they make money off of it. So this is what that's basically about.